Perhaps some of the best thinking happens during the quiet times of one's life. And I was going to wait until Saturday to post what's affectionately become known as the weekend trader here on the blog. But I actually got up from a nap first of all, about a half an hour ago, and I was watching a little bit more on this whole Scott Brown phenomenon, which I certainly alluded to it not so subtly early this week in the post. I thought it was important for the trading community to rally behind this individual. It's kind of been an interesting week because we've got balance in the markets now, where we've got some nice volatility, we've got some fear, and from a trading perspective, in terms of volatility, even if you haven't done well the last couple of days, if you can get your eye adjusted to the new rhythm, then it certainly bodes well. And on the political front, we also now have some balance, which is coming back, and I think regardless of what side of the aisle you may be on, politically or from a trading perspective, balance is always a good thing. It's healthy. It is a check of sorts, and so I think it's been an interesting week. One of the reasons I took a nap pretty much early tonight is I was pretty exhausted after having traded the last couple of days. So, but I got to thinking, which can always be a dangerous thing, of course. And again, I hate to keep dwelling on what's happened in the political landscape, but it has certainly got me thinking. And first thing I'm going to say is for tonight's post anyway, I'm going to open up the comments because I'd like your feedback. You may recall, we used to do open comments here some time ago, and then I had to turn that off because people started, both sides of the aisle basically started going at it, and I wanted to keep this professional, and I didn't have time, and I don't have time to moderate, and this is not intended as just a chat forum. It's something I take very seriously, and want to keep it on a high level. But in terms of this post, I guess I'm looking for some ideas. And I still believe that we're on to something here. And but I can't quite put my finger on what it is. I think well, at least based on feedback, I know that we've done some good in terms of trying to develop and highlight self-sufficiency in terms of trading. One of the reasons I launched this almost a couple of years ago is it was my desire to certainly promote self-sufficiency, to get people off of the money managers, off of Wall Street, if you will, off of the Goldman Sachs, off of the James Cramer, off of the internet fraud, buy this, sell this, recommendations, calls, that kind of thing, and try to promote some self-sufficiency. And I thought I could possibly do that in part by at least for the first part of this journal, using it as a trading journal, trying to show people transparency in terms of what I've always said, the good, bad, and ugly of this business. I think that certainly based on feedback anyway, that the Jelly effort has been very successful. And as I said recently, I'm going to do one effort, at least that's the plan, 2010 one. And as I said the other night, wrap up the Jelly era. And again, if you're interested in that, email me. But that's not what this is all about. I'm still trying to put my finger on something. I think there's a movement afoot. There has been a movement afoot in the political scene. There's a movement afoot, I think, in the trading scene. And I still think there's more we can do. I mentioned the other day about perhaps recording my screen and showing some snippets of reality. And I think the more that we can share reality in this business, the better. And certainly we've done that for a couple of years. But I still think there's something else. What can we do what's evolved into a very unique trading community. Um, my continuing to share my endeavors, my travels, the ups, the downs. And I was talking to somebody the other night about reminding them that this business will always be a business of 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I think if you look at the last couple of years of posts here, you see that when I spoke earlier in the last decade. I try to be very vocal and open in terms of the transitions in my trading career. And it's always a 2 step forward, 1 step back process. It is, and I guess that helps explain life. And in terms of again where we take this, again the jelly effort's been great. The blogging of personal trading and philosophies and all that I think has been received real well. But there's something else, and I can't put my finger on it. I know people have recommended that we do live internet chat room, which I've shied away, and I don't really want to do that. I still want to do something unique, and what I do with my trading capital and my results over the years will certainly continue to be important for me. From a performance perspective, from a financial perspective, because that's basically my main stream of income right now. But there's something else. There is something else, and I can't put my finger on it. And so I'm coming to New York in a few weeks, and I'm going to talk there, and I certainly want to use that as an opportunity, as much to speak in the brief period of time that I have, is to really touch base and kind of get the pulse of the trading community. There's been a lot done in this industry, and I am only one voice and I'm only one trader, but we've got something here. We have something very special here, and it goes back in part to the cookout that we had last year, where we got traders together, and we were down here in my office when the rains hit, and we were just brainstorming. And I know, at least based on feedback, we've done some good since then, but I think there's more. How can we take this collective mindset? Again, the average age of the jellies has been 49. Okay, the average age, while I don't have a scientific poll of those that follow this blog, everything in my gut, which is usually right, tells me that's real similar to the demographics of people that read the blog. So I'm rambling here, but we need to take this somewhere. Excuse me. What do we do? How do we take this collective of individuals and how do we what can we do? What can we do to continue to make each other stronger, continue to show the transparency in this business, and use this and get beyond me? Okay, I've always wanted to get beyond me. As I'm posting, whether I'm posting my results or I'm posting my philosophies or I'm posting my this is how I look at the world or how I view the trading markets. Okay. But there is something else that we I think are at a time in this industry where there are going to be some changes. You've got the banks getting reined in on what they may or may not be able to do now. You've got trader transaction taxes. You've got continued segments of this industry that I don't particularly care for, and I know that there's pockets of people that don't particularly care for me or what I do, and I respect that. Again, balance is healthy in this life. We need that. It keeps everybody in check. But where can we take this blog? What are you looking for? What can we do to further move this industry in a direction that is for the common good, and that will knock the socks off of everybody involved beyond. I mentioned that 2010 I thought would be the year of the iceberg, and I'm thinking that both in terms of not only personal performance, but also in terms of this blog and this effort that we've started here a couple of years ago. So please, comments, suggestions, please send them in. I'll leave the comment open tonight. Have a great weekend. I want to hear from you. Take care.